So you want a Scat Pack, huh? You want a big V8, gas guzzling, loud exhaust, traction losing, smoke creating V8, huh? You want a Scat Pack. This is the life you want to live. Gas prices are almost $5, but you want a Scat Pack. I'm averaging like 14 miles to the gallon, but you want a Scat Pack. Look at this. Let me show you a little trick. That's what you call filth right there. 6.4 liter V8 naturally aspirated, 485 horsepower monster. That's what you want. And you sure, in 2022, gas prices are going through the roof, but this is what you want. Big pipes, loud noises, tire screeching. Doesn't matter how big your tires are, you're never going to get traction in this car. But you want a Scat Pack. Well, let's talk about it. That's the first situation there. There are a couple things that you should know and be aware of before you buy these types of cars. Gas is one of them. If you are in a situation financially where you don't want to be at the gas pump every single day or every other day, this is not the car for you. Because depending on how you drive this type of car, you may very well be at the gas station every single day, or if not every other day. Like, I know a lot of people that drive Hellcats and Scat Packs, and they're literally at the gas station 3-4 times a week. I'm not being funny. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being facetious. I'm being dead serious. So if you don't have that kind of money in your budget to where you can fuck off, what, $100, $200, $250 a week for gas, this is not the car for you. Gas is extremely high. I would imagine it's going to get low at some point. I would imagine the prices are going to drop at some point, but when that happens, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen today, tomorrow. I mean, you know, Russia-Ukraine situation going on over there, that's not looking good. So needless to say, it probably will drop, but no time soon. So do you really want to be owning a car that drinks this much gas in 2022 during this time? I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't drive this car every single day, so as far as gas is concerned, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to say it's not that big of a deal, but it doesn't hit as hard as somebody that's going to daily drive this. If you're daily driving this car, you need to be mindful that you will be at the gas pump all the damn time. All the damn time. So if you can get past gas, what else? And these are some, you know, some of these are kind of, you know, important points, like the gas, and then there's other points that I'm going to make here. Some of them are just kind of contextual, and I say that to say, based on where you are and the type of car that you're driving and the attention that you track. The next one I'm going to say, people always try you in these types of cars. And when I say try you, I'm on the highway, I'm minding my business, I'm looking in my rearview mirror, there's a Mercedes behind me. I don't know if it's an AMG or not, but at some point I know that Mercedes is going to try to mess with me, right? Just because of how my car looks. Now granted, I got a big red racing stripe that goes down the offset of my car, right? So I draw a lot of attention in this car. You know what type of car it is. Everybody knows what type of car these are. And they know what these cars can do, and they know what they're built for. They're built for power. They're built to go. They're not built for anything else other than that, right? So let's just be real here. We're not fooling anybody with these types of cars. People will try you in this car at some point or another, whether you're on the highway, whether you're on Main Street, whether you're in your damn neighborhood, someone's going to try you. So be mindful of that. If you buy this car, be mindful that this is not your blend in, let's go to the grocery store and call it a day type of car. You are buying a race car, right? Just so happens to have 4 doors and 5 seats, but it's very much so a race car. Big 6.4 liter Hemi, it's a race car. 500 horsepower, it's a race car. So be mindful of that. You will draw a lot of attention with this car, some good, some bad. We've talked about the good, now let's talk about the bad. People love to steal these cars. I would not be surprised if Chargers and Challenger are on top 10 most stolen cars in America. That would not surprise me one bit. People do not care how I have to steal this car, whether I do it at the gas station when you're there, or whether I steal it when the car happens to be, you know, parked in the front of your house or in your garage. So be mindful of that. You'll draw a lot of attention. Also, from the other side of the coin, police. Police officers know what types of cars these are. They know what they can do, and they know what they're notorious and known for. In my particular city, Charlotte, North Carolina, at one point there was almost, and I say almost unofficially, there was like a hit out against SCATPACK, Charger, and Challenger, and Hellcat owners, right? Because it had gotten so bad to where these cars had been stolen so much, people were taking off on cops, which is easy to do when you got 500 horsepower or 700 or 800, depending on what you're in. It's easy to take off on a cop. So a lot of these cops are getting in high-speed chases with these cars and getting smoked. And a lot of, you know, the wrong personalities and characters own these types of cars too. So you're getting a lot of attention on both sides of the equation, both positive as well as negative. Now the negative, like I said, is contextual. It's based on where you live, your environment, your circumstances, maybe the places you frequent on a daily basis. If you live in an affluent neighborhood or a nice neighborhood or just a nice side of town, you should be okay. But if you live on the other side of town, you might want to invest in a garage or AR-15 or some sort of security system as well. That's important. Now we've gotten that out the way. That was one of those contextual things that only affects certain people. That's a big ass piece of tire in the road there. Let's get into something that's affecting everyone: the price of these cars. When I bought my wide body, I paid, no lie to you, I want to say $47,000, $48,000 for it. Now this is the wide body. So the fact that I was able to get it at that price was a steal, considering I bought this car brand new off the lot, and I was one of 2 or 3 in North Carolina with the wide body SCATPACK, or wide body Charger period, Hellcat or Scat, right? So the fact that I was able to get that for that price was amazing. Now granted, my car doesn't have leather seats, doesn't have a sunroof, and that's because when I bought this car, there was only 2 wide bodies on the dealership. I feel like I tell this story once a week, but there's only 2 wide bodies on the lot. There was a white one that was fully loaded. There was a black one. Obviously this one, I've always wanted a black car, so it just made sense. As far as the leather seats are concerned, I miss it because I had it in my V6. I don't have it now. The sunroof, I damn sure missed the sunroof. I don't have it now. I will have it in my Hellcat, but that's another video for another day. But $48,000, $47,000 was what I got this car at or around at that time, which you know is a steal. But actually, I'm just gonna put this in cruise control and cruise. But there's no way in hell that you're finding a SCATPACK, used or new, for $48,000, $47,000, unless it's been beat all to shit. And the reason I say that is because these cars, brand new, are going for $52,000, $53,000, $54,000 plus tax and everything else. You know what I'm saying? These cars are expensive right now. The Hellcats are even more expensive. But these cars, specifically the Scats, are extremely expensive right now, and that's because the market is so hot for these cars, and because we're living in inflationary times. So the likelihood that you're gonna find a wide body Scat Charger, wide body Scat Challenger for anything under $52,000, $53,000, brand new, you can kiss that goodbye. We had a video last week where we went over the used prices versus new for these types of cars. And you saw that even used 2020s, 2021s are still going for anywhere between $45,000 to $50,000. So you're not saving a lot by going the used route. Most cases you save a good bit of money when you get a used car as opposed to a new. That is not the case with these cars. These cars hold their value extremely well, which is a good thing if you own one, a bad thing if you're looking to own one. These cars hold their value extremely well, and you are going to pay for these cars. Let's get a little pull right here. 1, 2, let's go. Oh yeah, I'm gone. I'm gone. And I am gone. Quick little pull, 89 miles an hour. I'm sorry, 73 miles an hour, right? Quick little, 60 to 75 mile an hour pull right there. Everything's legal. We don't do anything illegal on this channel. So everything's legal. The speed limit 70, I did 75, 5 miles over. It's all good. But you will have the need for speed. That's a good segue. That leads me into my next segue. You cannot drive these cars responsibly. I have made videos where I made fun of people for driving these cars responsibly because you just can't. There's so much power, there's so much fun. The sound, the attention, all that shit goes into it. I mean, I know at this point, a lot of people that can afford these cars are grown men and women, right? But it brings out the child in you when you buy a car like this. You know what I'm saying? It brings out the kid in you. You just have fun. I love this car. I have a daily driver, but I rarely drive it because I just love this car. And the good thing about the Scats and the Hellcats, Chargers and Challengers specifically, is these cars are so big and heavy that when they get up to high speed, a lot of people fault us for having heavy cars. But when you're driving a car that's under 5,000, a little under 5,000 pounds, which this car is, I think it's around 4,400, 4,300. When you get up to 100, 150, 160, not to say that I've ever been at those speeds, but once you get up to those speeds, this car feels planted. If you've ever been in like a supercar of some sort of Porsche or a Lotus or one of those small, fast, agile cars, really speedy cars, those cars, when you get up to speed, they get scary because they get rattly, they start shaking. You can tell the wind, you're fighting against the wind in those types of cars. But when you get up to 150, 160, 170 in a 5,000 pound muscle car, you are planted. I can't tell you how many times, well actually I can, I've never done this, but I can imagine being on the highway doing 120, 130 and you just got one hand on the steering wheel. One hand on the steering wheel. I have a bad habit to put my hand on the shifter like I'm driving a manual. A lot of you guys have pointed that out. But 150, 160, I've got one hand on the steering wheel and I'm just cool. Not because I'm a naturally cool guy, because I'm not. I'm cool because I'm driving a 5,000 pound muscle car that's sitting on 315s all the way around at 160 miles an hour. I'm not worried about this car going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. And that's with or without traction. You know, personally, when you get up to those speeds, if you ask me, I think it's best to turn traction off because I just don't like anything limiting me. When I hit the gas, I want gas. You know what I'm saying? I want acceleration. I don't want a system having to determine how much acceleration based off the grip of my tires on the street. I want exactly what I want when I want it. I got no issues with traction, baby. I got no issues with traction. If I were to do this shit and the ground was even a little bit wet, I might be in those trees over there. I don't know if you can see them, but if I did that pull when it was wet, I would be in those trees over there. The price of these cars are expensive. We've already talked about that. You are not finding a Scat Pack from 2019 to 2022, especially the brand new ones, for anything less than, I'd say, 48,000. You might find a 2019 narrow body with 40, 50,000 miles for 48, 49. But a wide body, you can kiss that goodbye. You're paying 50,000 all day long. I just happened to buy my car at a beautiful time. But if you want a wide body, you are paying 50,000 plus. Kiss it goodbye. I just want you to know, I hate to bust your bubble. You want a wide body Scat Pack Charger or Challenger? I need $50,000 out you. Simple and plain. Doesn't matter how many miles on it. These cars are being marked up out the ass. Get rid of it. Get used to it. Expensive parts. Everything about this fucking car is expensive. I actually, my oil changes and tire rotations at Dodge run me about $149, and that's for the whole package. The oil change is like $120, $124, $125, and then the tire rotation is 19 bucks. So obviously the tire rotation, that's nothing, but the oil change, you're paying for that semi-synthetic Pennzoil SRT oil. That's $124. So you go to get your oil change, your tires rotated, that's $150 out the door. When I had my V6, I was paying nothing more than 64, 70 bucks for an oil change. I was cool. Double that for these cars. Maybe even triple that for the Hellcats, I don't know. So the last time I went to Dodge, I actually had to, they appraised, or they, what do I want to say? They gave me the suggestion that it would be best for me to look into changing my rotors out and my brake pads pretty soon. Sooner rather than later. Guess how much that cost? I showed you that in a previous video. The rotors themselves is, I want to say $1,900. And we're just talking about the front. We're not talking about all four. All four from $1,900, I might be okay. We're just talking about the big Brimbos up front, the big rotors up front. $1,900 for the rotors. I want to say $350 for the brake pads, and then $150 for the service, which came out to about $2,500, $2,600 just for the two front rotors, brakes, pads, and everything. There is nothing cheap about these cars. Everything's expensive because you're buying an SRT product, which is like the AMG, which is like the you know, the SVJs, the SVTs. You're buying the creme de la creme of Dodge. So you need to be mindful that anytime you go and put anything on this car, it's going to run you, it's going to cost. You know what I'm saying? Upgrades, modifications, whether it's under the hood or on top of the hood, it's going to cost. So don't just buy this car thinking that you're going to be able to skate away with cheap products. Be mindful, you've got a 6.4 liter V8 under the hood of this car. You can't cheap out on products when it comes to this car. The last thing you want is engine or transmission problems, because if you think that an oil change and a tire rotation is expensive, you can imagine what an engine or a transmission situation feels like or looks like as far as price is concerned. So don't even do it to yourself. Real talk. Don't even do it to yourself. Camaraderie, man. Let's talk about some good stuff. I can't tell you how many people I've met, random people, white, black, male, female, driving this type of car. I get so much attention, and this speaks to the good attention that I get. I get so much attention from driving a car such as this one. From cops too, good cops, seemingly good cops. I meet so many people. People always want to know how big the engine is. People always want to know how fast it is. People always want me to do a cold start. People always want me to rev. Homeless dude, I lie to you not, a couple weeks back, this is probably about a month or so back, a homeless dude wanted me to do a burnout in this car. He was on the side of the corner and he was like, spin him. And I'm like, bro, and this is another thing adding to how expensive these cars are. I'm like, fam, these tires are almost $1,000, bro. No, I'm not doing a burnout in this car so that you can get your jollies off. Hell no. But I say that to say these are fun cars. These are attractive cars. People love these cars. People love to have conversations. Everybody knows somebody that's driving a Scat or a Hellcat. Everybody does. So I meet people, and even if they themselves don't have a Scat or a Cat, they love to talk to me about their homeboy or their homegirl that does and how fast they went in that car. So the camaraderie, you meet people all over the world. I'm in a car club because of this car. I'm making YouTube videos because of this car. You know what I'm saying? So that aspect is a good one as well. Last but not least, let's talk about the investment opportunity for these types of cars. I don't know a lot of you guys know this, but they're supposed to be getting rid of the Charger and the Challenger, the Hellcat and the SCATPACK in 2023, which would get rid of the Jeep Trackhawk, the Ram TRX, the Durango Hellcat, all Hellcats known to man. If that's in fact true, there will be no more V8s after 2023. I find that hard to believe, but if that's true, there will be no more V8s in 2023, after 2023. The reason that's important is because from that day forth, they will no longer be producing 6.4 liter, 6.2 liter supercharged Hemis, which will make these things literally relics and one of a kind. Not necessarily relics, I think it's got to be like 20, 30, 40 years old for it to be considered. No, it's antique. But they will make these cars investment opportunities, and I say that to say, when they stop making them, there will be no more V8s being made, not this big, after that date. Not this big. So you are literally sitting on not only a 6.4 liter SCATPACK Hemi, but you're sitting on an investment opportunity of something that if you hold on to it, keep it in good condition, relatively low miles given the age and all that stuff, you could potentially, when the time comes, or if the time comes, sell this SCATPACK for 2, 3, 4 times what you bought it. Simply because you will be living in a day and age when cars like this don't exist. When everything is electric, the V8 will be a commodity. You know, the V8 more so than the V6 or 4-cylinder will be a commodity. You know what I'm saying? So you're literally sitting on, or sitting in rather, I don't know what you're sitting on. I don't even want to talk about that. Don't even talk to me about that. But you're sitting in an investment vehicle for the future. If you own a Hellcat right now, aside from upgrading to a bigger Hellcat like a red eye or a wide body joint, I would not sell that car. If you can afford to keep it. If you can afford to keep that car, I would not sell it. And the reason I wouldn't sell it is simply because when the time comes, these cars will be investment opportunities. You're literally sitting on gold because they will never be made again. Like, this is probably the golden age for muscle. If you guys are into pirates and shit like that, there was a time that the pirates pretty much ruled, and they call that the golden age of piracy. And this is kind of the golden age of muscle cars right now, more so than the 60s and 70s. Like, At one point, manufacturers were competing for the biggest engine, the loudest engine, the most powerful engine. They didn't give a damn about gas and shit like that. Gas guzzlers tax, they didn't care. They just wanted to make the biggest, most powerful engine. Chevy did it, Mustang, Ford did it, Dodge been doing it, they invented it. But there will come a time when these engines and these cars no longer exist, and that's just the future. That's where electrical engines or electrical cars and shit like that comes into play. You got a Hellcat in 2030, 2040. My God, you're sitting on a $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 investment opportunity right there. They're selling Dodge Demons for $200,000, $300, and the Demon's only been out for like 3-4 years. Imagine what they're going to be selling Hellcat Red Eyes in 2040 when people don't even know what a V8 is. So all in all, guys, I guess what I'm saying here, I've been wasting gas this whole damn video just sitting here running my mouth. All in all, what I'm saying is, you would need, what I'm saying is, if your money is right and you can handle the responsibilities of owning a Scat Pack, gas, maintenance, general upkeep, whenever it's time to modify parts, if you can financially carry that burden, I see no reason why you shouldn't buy a Scat Pack. I absolutely love this car. I love it. I'm getting 16.5 miles to the gallon right now in eco mode on chill, and I got the air conditioning on. If you can afford these cars, guys, I'm telling you, you will not regret it. I love this car. I love these cars. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you will as well. I have so much fun with these cars. So much fun. If I were you, I would go out, get you a Scat Pack Charger, get you a Scat Pack Challenger, enjoy your car, disregard what people say about gas mileage and all that shit, disregard what people say about, you know, these cars are some of the most stolen cars, all that bullshit. Don't worry about that. Go out, get you a car that you can enjoy and you can have fun with, and call it a day. It's been your boy Knockout 360. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.